Yo, what up, man? It's your boy. It's your boy JL. What up, man? This is the recap for me, man. I had to take a week off for the Browns, man. You know, last week was the final game for the Cleveland Browns, and yeah, I'm here to just give my fans' opinion about this season, this 2022 season. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, ring that bell. You know what I mean? Feel free to comment, man. Yes, I am Jo. Yes, I host the Jo Show, the unedited podcast. The season 2 is coming. You know what I mean? But we talking Browns right now, man. And I honestly don't even know where to begin, man. Like it's another losing season. Was I surprised? No. I said it in my show. I said it way before the season started that this season here was going to be a wasted season, and it was. Uh, I, I'm curious to know, other fans out there. You know, what I mean, what was your expectations going into this season? Because again, like I said, mines were what it were. I felt like this was going to be a wasted season, and if this wasn't a wasted season, I don't know what it was, man. And I just want to get into some season stats and just you know, run through some stuff and just, give you my feedback, man. Again, I'm a Browns fan. I'm a diehard Browns fan. No matter what, I'm going to tune in next year. I mean, for me, there's no excuses next year. I mean, I know we've all heard that term, wait till next year, but god damn it, next year is it. For me, Deshaun Watson, your clock started for me as soon as that Pittsburgh game ended. The clock starts. It started right then and there, bro. It's time now. Um, it's time to grow. It's time to take the 6 games and appreciate them for what they were. Even though a 3-3 record to me, I mean, what can you ask for from a rusty, you know, 200-day, 2-year, non-playing quarterback? I mean, skills or no skills, man. That long of a delay, it's or a layoff, excuse me, it's gonna be tough. And it's the NFL. It's hard to win in the NFL, let alone coming in rusty. So, I'm up and down with the 3-3 record. I mean, it is what it is. Like what else would you going to expect with that? But yeah, let me just run through some things here. And like I said, feel free to comment, man. It- I'm giving you my opinions. You know what I mean? These are my opinions. I have a right to them. So if you disagree or if you agree, you know what I mean? Go ahead, hit that comment box, man. But listen, Jacoby Brissett, man. And again, I couldn't ask for anything more from a backup in 11 games. You know what I mean? I listen. You couldn't ask for anything more from a backup in 11 games. The defense definitely gave some games away for him, and he made some mistakes of his own as well. But as a backup, I mean, he did what a backup should have done. Um, he threw for 2,608 yards, 12 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. He had a QBR 88.9, and you can remember that as I continue to go on. Amari Cooper, he had 1,000 yard season, 9 touchdowns. Do I think he should have had more? Yeah. Do I understand why he didn't have more? Yeah. So these stats are, again, they are what they are. You know what I mean? Nick Chubb, and shout out to Nick Chubb, man. 1,500 yards. That's 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 an accomplishment in the NFL for a running back, no doubt. Do I think he should have had 2,000 yards? Yeah, maybe. I felt like he was well on his way. If the production was produced for him to get that, then yeah, he should have been able to get, if not get it, get close to 2,000. I mean, 1,500 again. And to be exact, was 1,525. You know what I mean? So shout out to Nick Chubb, man. Um, he had 13 rushing touchdowns as well. That's impressive. And again, we're talking about a running back here, man, who has been for the most part, the most durable running back in the league. I mean, yeah, he had his injuries, but not to where it was, he's just constantly missing games. So for the most part, very durable, man, very reliable. So shout out to Nick Chubb, man. Um, DPJ, um, I don't know if he has emerged as the number two receiver, but if next season started today, he would be the number two receiver. If the roster stayed the same, yeah, he would definitely be the number two receiver. Um, and he had a decent production. He had 839 yards for the season. Um, he had three touchdowns, which I felt in red zone areas. He should have been more of a target. I mean, he's a bigger body. He knows how to throw it around. So I felt like, you know, games when we got down in the red zone, we kind of got away from what we should have been looking for: Cooper and Joku and Peoples. You know what I mean? And feeding Nick along the way, of course. But yeah, if you're gonna throw the ball, then I felt like sometimes he should have been targeted more in that area. But I mean, for the most part, for being that number two receiver for this year, that's what's up. And Joku, to get to that point, so he had 628 yards receiving this year, and I mean that's decent for a tight end. Um, Again, I felt like he should have had more because he just should have been more, a part of the offense. I mean, a lot of times when he did receive the ball, he had a lot of yak. It wasn't like they was catching him, running down the seam or something. Like he created a lot of yak on his own to just get those 600 plus yards. So um, I'm disappointed in the four touchdowns because again, in the red zone, he's someone that should have been an option. Like a strong option. I mean, just using what we have. You know what I mean? Kareem Hunt. Speaking of using what we have, bro, he had 468 yards rushing for the season. For the season, they added a game. We play 17. They added a game, man. We play 17 now, and for the season, 468 yards rushing, three touchdowns. Man, that's crazy. I mean, that is absolutely crazy when you think of a talent like Kareem Hunt and what he's able to do with the ball and without the ball. You know what I mean? It's just crazy to hear that for an entire 17 game season, we was only able to get 468 yards out of him. I don't know. I'm I don't know. Um, you know, I don't know. I mean, what do we blame it on? You clearly see that the opportunities wasn't there to get those type of numbers from Kareem Hunt. He just didn't get opportunities. So what do we blame that on? But I get to that. Deshaun Watson, 6 games, 11 game suspension. We all know the story. I'm not gonna get into it. They said enough. Um, Again, I said 3-3. He went 3-3. So like I said, being as rusty as he was and given the circumstances, all right. You know what I mean? He had a 1,102 yards passing. He had 7 touchdowns, 5 picks. QBR 38.6. Um, Again, 6 games, but I know everybody like stats and numbers, so you know you could look at the 38 and say, "Oh, he stunk." Like, well, we only played 6 games and he was rusty, and again, that's what happens. Um, but like this overall season for me, I just didn't have the expectations. I mean, like everything I just read off is what I kind of assumed would be the case. The only thing I'm kind of surprised with was with Kareem Hunt. It's just how he decided to use him, especially after we kept him. What I mean, before the deadline. So it was that was the biggest like whoa factor for me. Like all that talent is gonna just sit him there. All right, you know. And then what gets me to like some of the people that I feel like are responsible or like should have you know some type of ownership to what's been going on. And you talk about Stefanski. I call him Kevin Stefanski. He likes to be fancy. Kevin Stefanski. Hey, listen, man. 3 years, 27-25 record. And let me tell you what's kind of messed up about this, because like as Cleveland fans, you should be excited. You know, not too many coaches get to win that many games in 3 years, let alone get 3 years here. So I mean, if you want to look at that as an accomplishment, like we kept the same coach for 3 years, going on 4. I mean, scratching my head about that, but you know, going on 4 years now, the same coach. That's that's something we don't do. But I mean, the last 2 seasons were losing seasons, 8 and 9, 7 and 10. Um, 8 and 9, 7 and 10 for the last 2 seasons with decent expectations. I mean, again, last year for me, I had more expectations than I did this year. To be honest, I mean, I didn't. I believe that this was going to be a waste of season. So, but as a coach, as a head coach, I don't believe this is a waste of season. I believe we have an opportunity to do some great things here with the players that we have. Excuse me. And the last 2 years, 8 and 9, 7 and 10, 1-1 in the playoffs. Um, it's it is what it is. We went from a playoff team to 8 and 9, 7 and 10. Uh, you know, who do you blame it on? Like, who do you put it on? I don't know. Somebody, shit, help me. Again, leave a comment, hit that like, subscribe, ring the bell, man. I'm talking. I'm talking the truth, man. I'm being passionate right now. I'm I'm not like, overthinking nothing. I'm just speaking how I feel about, my Cleveland Browns. Alex Van Pelt, offense coordinator. 3 years. Well, no, he's been here 2019, I believe. 2019 when we picked him up, and I don't remember the special teams. I mean, I don't believe he's had an opportunity to, really, you know, I don't know, like the special teams, man. Like what, it's special teams, and since 2019 just hasn't been productive at all, non-existent. Um, that that needs to change. Um, Paul DePodesta. That's who I want to get to because listen, he's a former baseball executive, former baseball executive, and then he comes here to be a chief strategy officer. Like you sound like a cop. You sound like the police. Like a a chief strategy, like chief strategy officer for what? For what? Please help me. Please say something. Put it in the comments. For what? Why is he here? What is he doing? Help me. I really don't know. The boy jail. Look, I'm lost. I don't know. I'm lost, y'all. Help me. We ain't got no defensive coordinator right now. Um, I hope they do the right thing. I just hope they do the right thing. I heard someone on a talk radio station. They were saying that part of Stefanski's problem is he lost the locker room, and I was trying to figure out when did he have the locker room, and I say that because again he was another unproven head coach that the Browns decided to make an head coach. He wasn't in Minnesota head coaching it. You know what I mean? He wasn't head coaching it up in Minnesota for 11 years with no other opportunities to get a head coaching job. And then we offer him the job. Now, you got to think about those that has been in this locker room, seeing this carousel of coaches, and then you bring another unexperienced head coach in. It's going to be hard for him to even get the locker room. So okay, we go 11-5 and we make the playoffs and everything is great, right? I said that year, that pandemic year, it was wide open. Anybody could anything could have happened. And Lord behold, anything happened. Like, you know what I mean? The Browns went into Pittsburgh in a playoffs playing a playoff game and beat them. Went to the divisional round, and was again couple plays, couple calls from the AFC Championship game. So, but again, I felt it was wide open that year. But then we come back to reality, and we come back to the NFL and everything that it stands for, and how hard it is to win in the NFL. I'm not taking that away from nothing. It's hard to win in the NFL. I get that. But for you to be able to gain a locker room, you have to win. I don't give a shit who you are. Let Mike Tomlin have 2 or 3 losing seasons. Locker rooms lost. All that shit you did out the window. Because we're losing now. That's not the case there. We're talking about the Cleveland Browns where it's just a constant rotation of losing. You got the same temperament when you do your press conferences, pregame, after game, during the week. Like, such robotic and like you can't win a locker room like that, bro. These guys are getting younger and younger and younger. And it's going to be coaches that's going to be getting lesser and lesser relatable because they're not willing to change and do things different. Stefanski ain't changing, man. I told y'all the same offense that he ran with Baker, the same offense he ran with Jacoby was going to be the same offense he ran with Watson. Nothing was going to be different. Now again, he only had 6 games with him, and the clock for him started after that Pittsburgh game too. Stefanski, you got to figure Deshaun Watson all the way out, bruh. Deshaun Watson, you got to figure Stefanski out. Something has to be done because we cannot continue to lose like this, man. It's just done. Like, as a fan, and I know I'm not the only one. We're done. Y'all spent all this money. Y'all invested all this time and thought into it. Y'all clock started after that Pittsburgh game. It's time to make some decisions and make some moves. Because we just can't continue. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. And to get back to my story about the offensive about the special teams, I had Alex Van Pelt, the offensive coordinator, kind of mixed up. You feel me? With Mike Priefer. Mike Priefer, you guy since 2019. What? Tell me what? What have you done? What have you done here? I don't remember the special teams making a difference at all. And the offensive coordinator, what is he coordinating if he ain't calling plays? Like, what does he do? Is he okaying the calls or something with the fans? Like, what do he do? How are you offensive coordinator? You ain't coordinating nothing. I don't know, man. That's why I got them confused because they both stink. So yeah, I had a moment there, and I apologize. I just listen. The season's over. I said what I said before the season even started about this season. So on to next season. But I tell you what, fans I know is not going to continue to take this BS, man. They're just not, man. So y'all gonna have to figure it out, and you better figure it out in a hurry. Roll all that cap money over. Get some playmakers. Get a thumper. I need a thumper. I need an attacker. I need a thumper at that middle linebacker, dog. I need a straight dog at that middle linebacker spot. I need someone on that other side of Myles Garrett because I'm pretty sure that Jadeveon Clowney is out of here. I need somebody else on the other side. We need another interior rush. I'll take another safety. Did you know our safeties led the defense in tackles, both of them, Delpit and John Johnson? Dude. That means, yeah, you know what that means. Come on, man. It's just time, man. It's time. It's just time. It's time. Cleveland Browns, listen to me. It's time, okay? Hey, yo, look, I'm your boy J.O. Hit that like, man. Hit that subscribe, man. Ring that bell. You know what I mean? Comment. Let me know how you feel. I definitely appreciate it, man. That J.O. Show, the unedited podcast, man. Season 2 coming soon. Hey man, until next year, I'm out, yo.